Let's assume I'm going to raise my first funding. Tell me 5 things that I need to be aware of. Varna, I shouldn't go in front of a VC.
Flipkart almost died 3 or 4 times. There's more failure than success in any startup journey.
Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of The Intelligent Buck.
I actually think completely unknown co-founder is a very risky strategy. My wife says this actually. She said, did you make any investments this week? No, she said, so you worked 12 hours every day, spoke to 30-40 different founders, उससे कुछ नहीं हुआ, कुछ output ही नहीं है. I had a call scheduled with the founder. Could have been a cigarette, could have been something else during the talk.
Are you serious? Okay, next round is my favorite, rapid fire. Choose one of the options. Trisha as a life partner or Trisha as a business partner. So next round is truth or short.
Regrettable startup investment.
You have to take the name, else you drink the shot.
Have a shot for that.
It's very bad. Next up, you have to tell us 2 truths and 1 lie about yourself, and we let the audience guess what is what. Okay. Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of The Intelligent Buck, where today we are hosting Arjun Vaidya, a D2C startup founder turned venture capitalist. So hi Arjun, how are you doing today?
With a lot of difficulty getting through Andheri traffic. I made it.
Okay, we're gonna cut that part out. I didn't make him do that. But I want to know the story actually. Like before we officially start, पहले आप D2C founder थे. Dr. Vaidya's did so excellent. I've heard that story so many times. I've heard you talk live. How did being a VC come into picture?
Actually, I was telling someone this yesterday. So Dr. Vaidya's I exited summer of 2021, and उसके बाद actually कोई plan ही नहीं था. I was 29 years old. I had sold this company, and then my calendar was like completely empty. So as a founder, you think like this meeting, that meeting, this, and your full day is packed, right? And you have time only at, like I remember for anything outside of core work, I would say 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. No other time. And it's still like that, right, for me. And then you have the whole day open. Like I used to dream, I can go for a workout at not 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. I can go for a workout at 10 a.m.
Anytime
and
during the day.
I would go to the club to play squash at 10:30, 11 o'clock. Then, like when we play with friends, etc., when we go for trips with friends, there's always a table tennis table. And I always said I want to be the best. So, 2 बजे दोपहर को table tennis coaching start किया था, right? Like that was life, and it was fun for like 1 week, 2 weeks. After a while, you're like, what am I doing? After 2 o'clock table tennis coaching, I'm lying on my bed watching the India-Australia test match. Like that's not life, right? So I started meeting founders. I gave 12 hours of my week just to founders pro bono. I started enjoying
12 hours of your week?
But week में कुछ था ही नहीं.
हाँ, वो
Week
बात
was
भी
तो
है.
fully free. So 12 hours seems like a lot of time, but there was nothing else to do at that time. And then I started helping them, and then I started enjoying that. And then we had some money that we, obviously we exited Dr. Vaidya, so we had some capital. So we started angel investing, Trisha and I both, putting some money behind founders. Then we enjoyed helping founders, so we started a program to help teach D2C and e-commerce. Now I've been running that for 2.5 years. It's a cohort-based course, India's largest cohort-based course on D2C e-commerce. So we started enjoying this, and then I said, look, for me, I built one Dr. Vaidya's. Now can I create or enable 100 Dr. Vaidya's? Is it possible to be able to do that with my knowledge and learnings? And I think उसके बाद फिर randomly on my LinkedIn I got a message, and I had a call with a private equity fund manager. And at that time हम सब VCs, सब investors के साथ बात करते थे कि हम भी invest कर रहे हैं, आपको deal बताएंगे, आप भी हमें deal बताओ, हम साथ में पैसा डालेंगे.
True, it's a small circle.
आप $1 million डाल रहे हैं, हमसे भी 5-10 लाख ले लो from our personal money, etc. So like I was talking to many investors, and I got a message from the guy who runs Whirl Invest India business, and Whirl Invest is a big private equity investor in Sula, Viva, Epigamia, Purple, Wakefit. So
I read about it. I think they reached out to you.
Consumer brand, just for a general chat.
Okay.
And we were having a conversation, and then started enjoying the vibe of the conversation, etc. And Arjun, who runs the private equity business, said, I have a crazy idea for you. We're looking to start a VC fund. We're looking for an ex-founder who's built and sold a consumer business who's below the age of 40.
Below the age of 40 was the criteria.
And you're fitting that vibe of specifically what we want. So are you interested to explore starting a VC fund. And I said honestly, मैंने सोचा भी नहीं है इसके बारे में. But I'm anyways doing it in my small capacity as an angel, etc. All of that, and I'm enjoying it. So I said sure, I'm happy to explore. So 6 months we got to know each other. We spoke every Monday actually for 3 months, every single Monday, and planned, understood each other, etc. All of that. Then I spoke to everybody in the leadership of Vol Invest, the guy who runs US, the guy who runs Europe, the CEO, the MD, everyone. And then they said in October 2021, हमारा offsite है Spain में. For you to also get to know us better, it'll be good to meet us in person. And by this time, I'd not even met this person.
6 months had gone by.
Because it was COVID, right?
And
so
there was no work that was happening. Like it was just knowing each other.
Planning, okay, if we were to do this, what would we do? If we were to explore it, how do we explore it? And then he said, everybody in our team is coming for this offsite in Spain, 50-60 people, all our global team. Why don't you join us? I said, okay. I joined them in Spain, had a great time with them, and then I said, I want to do this. And you know, I think what I really appreciated about the way they did this was they said, okay, we are obviously making a commitment and investing in you as a person to say you run this business, but you are also making an investment on us, right?
True.
And so you have to get to know us. And so the most interesting thing they ever told me was, हमने आपके ऊपर जो ref checks करने थे हमने कर लिया है. We done our ref checks. Have you done your ref checks on us? I said, नहीं इतना तो नहीं किया. He was like, these are the 3 founders we have invested in who you know. Call them and ask about us. Only if you are comfortable, then join us.
Wow, that's so
because
wonderful.
You are also taking a 5, 7, 10 year commitment, right? Being a fund manager with us. So I went to Spain, had a great time. In December 21, I pitched to the Vol Invest board to set up this new entity for India. And Jan 22 we started.
Wow. I think I have this question, I had written it down for the later stage, but I would like to ask it now that I was hearing how gaga you go about your and Trisha's partnership in Dr. Vaidya's, right? But you guys knew each other from the start. So there was already an existing personal relationship and then you decided to do work together. But my question is, so suppose I want to start a business today, right? And I have no co-founder and I'll be ideally seeking for a co-founder jiske aise skills ho, which are different than mine.
Correct.
And this person can be completely unknown. So how do we assess that this co-founder is the right one for you?
I actually think completely unknown co-founder is a very risky strategy.
Okay.
Because देखो आप 5, 7, 10 साल साथ में काम करने वाले हो. अभी you have met someone 2 months back, 1 month back. They're having a conversation with you, vibe match है, same space में build करना है, तो आप साथ में start करते हो. First 6 months is honeymoon period.
True.
You're still getting to know each other, etc. All of that. Business के starting में इतने कोई issues ही आते ही नहीं है because business ही नहीं है.
Exactly.
But फिर जब business start होता है and difficulties आते हैं, right? Then you start seeing the person reacting to hardship and adversity and tough times, right? If you don't know that person, you see a completely different side of that person that you're never seen before. And that is actually, I'm seeing now a lot, like in 2021-22, जब पैसा बहुत आसान था, VCs पैसा डाल रहे थे, it was easy to raise money, etc. All of that. A lot of people came together who didn't know each other. I'm seeing a lot of those businesses break now. One co-founder leaves, there's dead equity on the cap table. उनका equity अभी vested है, but उनको business नहीं करना है, उनको काम नहीं करना है, तो वो job पे वापस निकले हैं.
Oh God.
That is the worst thing for a company, and that leads to literally company shutdowns.
Even after having a good product, good
product,
business
good
plan.
Business, good everything, but you can't vibe with that person. You can't even talk to that person.
This is what I also seen, and that's where the question came from. You know that
so
when you're
I'm actually very against this concept of speed dating co-founders. Very against the concept, and I'll tell you, in most cases I've seen it not work. Yes, can you work with someone who you are not best friends with, who are not partners, spouse with? Of course, but कुछ context होना चाहिए, कुछ history होना चाहिए, because there's also a con or a issue of working with your partner, right?
True.
I talk about all the positivity. Trisha and I built this business together. We grew up together. We got married while building the business, etc. But जो घर के fights है वो office में आते हैं, जो office के fights है वो घर में आते हैं. So that's very complicated. There's no work-life balance.
You
It's
can't always have a demarcation, right?
So I always feel कि complementary skill sets तो बहुत important है, but you have to have context from the person. You have to know the person. You have to have worked together in the past. You have gone to school, college together. some तो context चाहिए. Why is that person not picking up the same burden that I'm picking up, etc.
True. So basically, start business with people you know. Else
Or
it
you see
can
some
be
context
gamble.
to else, if you don't know the person, spend the time to get to know the person before you jump into the business.
6 months? Ideal
may not
time?
be 6 months. It may be go on a vacation together for 14 days.
Yeah.
Or vacation together for 14 days and spend night and day with that person. But see them outside of Zoom calls and few meetings discussing about a business opportunity.
Got it.
Go play a sport with them, go to the gym with them, go do what they like, understand their hobbies. It's more than just office jana, office se nikalna.
I think this can be like, you know, the initial investment founders need to make
Yeah.
if you want your business to be successful.
Because business is not just business. Business is a lot about emotion, grit, resilience, personal and professional coming together. Like if you're building a business with someone for 10 years, you have to know them more than just the 9 to 5 in office or the 9 to
Correct.
7 in office.
I think founders are also equally married as much as a husband and wife
I
are.
say that actually any co-founder relationship, even an investor-founder relationship is like marriage to nahi hai because marriage we want to last forever. And engagement nahi hai because engagement lasts for a short period till you get married. But it's a very, very serious relationship.
Long-term relationship.
It's a serious relationship.
Got it. Okay.
It's not a fling.
It's not a fling.
It's not a
It's
fling
a
at all.
serious long-term relationship.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to the next question. How would you describe an ideal startup investment pitch? Like I have heard this one founder, he told me that, you know, the first time I was pitching, it almost went for an hour and slowly it came down so less that I almost take less than 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
So what's that ideal duration of a startup pitch, the number of pages a deck should have or the kind of content it should have?
Yeah, we like to follow 30-20-10. So look, as a VC, you get 30, 40, 50 decks a week, right? So 30 is the font size you should use
Okay.
so that the person can read it on their phone. 20 is the number of slides it should be. Maybe you can add a few annexures, but 20 is the main number of slides. And 10 minutes is what it should take to pitch the business or for someone to go through your deck. Now a deck is it's like a introduction, right? So someone can help you get an interview. They won't help you get the job. So the deck is the equivalent of that. The deck is what
Resume.
resume starts the conversation, engages the first time, and then from there you have to do a bunch of things. So the first pitch should follow this 30-20-10. Because if I get a deck on my WhatsApp that is 100 slides, chances are I'll only read 10 of the slides.
True.
And the message doesn't come in 10 of the slides, you lose that. Right?
True.
And you know, while building Dr. Vaidya's, I used to be very like salty about VCs not responding. I'm like, 2 email भेजे क्या कर रहे हैं? Respond क्यों नहीं कर रहे? 2 LinkedIn message भेजे कितना busy है भाई? But now that I'm on this side, I actually struggle to read my WhatsApp. And so I carry 2 phones because sometimes my family also needs to get in touch with me. And so in that construct, which I now understand, which I didn't understand while I was a founder. You gotta be the most efficient at getting the information across.
True. I think even pitch decks need to be like an elevated pitch, right?
Correct.
Like if you want to come to the meeting, make it as crisp as
I think that's the
possible.
great part about Shark Tank. That's what it's done for us. It's helped people pitch very effectively and efficiently. I would say 3 years ago to today, pitches have gotten so much better because people are used to watching the Shark Tank pitches.
Is it? Is it true?
Absolutely.
Moving to the next question, tell me one funny episode during a startup pitch, like something that just cracked your head. You're like, "Kya karu main iska?"
Yeah, this was wild. It's just when I started investing, and I had a call scheduled with the founder, and he was not in India.
Okay.
He was outside of India somewhere. And it was a Zoom call, and the guy had probably just woken up. Hair was like totally messy. In the middle of the call, put on a cap and was smoking. Could have been a cigarette, could have been something else during the call.
Are you serious?
I just didn't know how to react. I didn't know what to say.
You continued with the call.
You have to respect the person, right? And you
Yeah,
have to
but
respect
he should
anyone.
also follow that, right?
Yeah, but I continued with the call, but I didn't know what to say. And the person, matter of fact about it was like we were sitting in a cafe and with a coffee, he was smoking a cigarette or something on the Zoom call into the camera smoking the cigarette.
What if that happens today? Now what would you do?
I would still respect the fact that I have blocked that time and that person has blocked the time. But I don't know if I would take the conversation so seriously because That amount of respect you should have.
I think you should have also just poured a glass of champagne for yourself and enjoyed.
It was like 11 o'clock or something.
Oh, in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh God. Let's assume I'm going to raise my first funding. Tell me 5 things that I need to be aware of. Varna, I shouldn't go in front of a VC.
Yeah, so I think first thing you need to do and most important is research the person who you are meeting. Even for job interviews, I feel like people don't do this enough, right? Like I've had someone who reached out to me for a call to pitch their business, and then said that send me a WhatsApp thing. I want to do a call now, urgently. So I took out some time, 5-10 minutes into the call. The person like, I have this business, etc. All of that. This person shared your number, so I just wanted to talk to you about the business. I've heard you're a really prominent D2C investor, etc. All of that. So I said sure. We started talking about the business, and then 2 minutes later, the person stopped and said, but tell me about your background. What have you done before this?
The person said that to you?
I was like, you have reached out to me because I'm a D2C investor. At least LinkedIn with a naam check karo. So I think that, I'm saying that at least basic research, but if you do more research, you can actually start a conversation, right? Like,
true. You
can also say, hey, by the way, I saw that you like cricket a lot because on my social media, it's there everywhere, right? And then that already breaks the ice and starts a conversation. So do research on the person, what they have done, their investments, etc. will help you break the ice in the conversation. Second, pre-pitch or mock pitch before, so you know the questions that could come. Go to your friends, go to your family, go to people who are in the startup industry. Ask them, I want to do a mock pitch with you 15-20 minutes and already pre-answer those questions. Third, any pitch should be a dialogue, not a monologue. So I remember being on a call with the founder, 45-minute ka block tha, he spoke for 42 minutes.
Just pitching his business.
Pitching the business, and then last 3 minutes he said,
do you have any questions?
So ensure you have a dialogue, whether it's Zoom or in person, like keep the person engaged.
So this is one new thing I learned. So when you're pitching your business, you have it like a conversation thing. Don't just talk everything about your tech.
70% of the talking or 80% of the talking, but ensure the person has the 20%. Because if you are, think about in school, right? The teacher's talking, you're falling asleep.
True.
40 minutes non-stop the teacher's talking. Can you keep attentive? That's why the teachers used to ask us questions in between.
Yeah,
they want to ensure that people are actually listening to the conversation. Then, fourth thing I would say is, when you get feedback, take feedback constructively. In the sense that, like, it's your business, you care about it a lot, but don't be aggressive when someone asks you a question or points out a flaw, because everything is not perfect. It's okay to not be perfect, and the person is not taking a personal attack at you, right? So that's point number 4. And point number 5, I would say, is leave every meeting with a follow-up. So, oh, would you like some more data to evaluate it further? Oh, it's too early for you. Can I send you a quarterly update? Oh, you didn't like the business. Can I have some feedback to see how we can improve, right? Every meeting should have an outcome or follow-up.
True.
I think these 5 things, if you do, you can be a much more effective pitcher.
A follow-up question on that. Has there ever been an instance where you have constructive criticism diya hai and the founder has just gone bazooka about it?
No, many times.
Is it?
I think many times. And look, I've been a founder, so I know how it feels when someone says something's wrong with your business.
But if you say it the right way...
And I know I say it the right way because
you come across like a person like that.
I'm very respectful of anybody building any business. Very, very respectful of anybody building any business. I think you get all sorts of answers, and I can't blame founders because maybe they've gone through a tough day, maybe they've heard that same feedback many times. I don't know what it is. But I've said to founders also, you didn't take the feedback well, and so I may not be the right investor for you.
Oh, got it.
That's okay.
Yes, this is my favorite question actually. I want to know. Tell me that one common unconventional trait you see in successful founders. Like you meet so many founders, investors, VCs, all of that. Something that is really uncommon.
I've talked about enough actually. There is more failure than success in any startup journey. We say roller coaster, but you go down more than you go up.
Yeah.
And so the people who are able to fight through tough times with great resilience and a smile on their face, that's the hallmark of a great founder. Everything else leave aside. When your back is against the wall, when you have everything at stake, how do you react in that moment and how do you win in that moment? And
I just got goosebumps.
I wasn't great at it. I'm okay at it. But sometimes, with the world of social media, news, startups being glorified, Shark Tank, etc., we only see the positive side. But there is a book I read on the Indian startup story, which was titled "How I Almost Blew It."
Okay.
Every single founder has a near-death moment where they think, "Abhi band ho raha. I'm giving up. It's over." And how they come up or out of that moment, or moments. Many times there are moments. So Flipkart almost died 3 or 4 times. There's a book called The Flipkart Story where they talk about it. 3 or 4 times Flipkart almost died. And every time they got out of it.
These are the kind of stories that should come out. No, I think ye cut kar dena, but I'll host another podcast where I just call successful founders telling this story, that how I almost blew up. No one knows this. Yehi the problem, and I love hearing it. Like when I go talk to people, I'm like, tell me the bad days.
There's nothing like an overnight success. There are years of effort to create an overnight success, right?
True.
Dr. Vaidya, everybody says great, 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 amazing. 2.5 years of figuring out what we wanted to do before we hit success. Right?
True. Okay. This is again a follow-up question. It just came at the right time. Tell me, what should a startup founder look for in a VC? Like if we have to choose the VCs, how should we go about it?
Look for someone who vibe matches with you, because an amazing founder told me this. You got to have lunch, dinner or breakfast with that person every month for the next 5 to 7 years. So you should be able to have lunch with that person, right? Second, look for someone who sees the business or the vision the way you see the business, right? If on day one they are misaligned, then it's going to be a problem. And third, if you can find someone who has some experience that can add value to your business, something that you need, some experience, knowledge, access that you need, it'll help you, right? So at least 2 of these 3 things are important.
Got it. So I had raised this thing on my story that I'm going to be meeting a D2C founder turned a VC, a venture capitalist. So there are a couple of followers that have asked a few questions.
Sure.
So I'm going to raise that now. So this question is coming from a follower, Akhilesh Nair. He asked, this is something even I want to know, I say. Why are there less VCs and private equities in India compared to other countries?
Because the industry is new. So if you look at the number of VCs that were there in 2013, 14, when I moved back to India today, I would say we are at least 10 times, if not 20 times. This industry is existed in the US in the 60s and 70s. Is existed in India from the early 2000s, but pretty much from 2013, 14 on. So in 10 years, 20 years, you'll see this asset class everybody talking about. Today, my dad is asking me, "Mujhe bhi angel investing karna hai." So slowly it'll come, but our industry is 30, 40 years younger. Right? And so obviously there is more there than there is here.
But the growth from now will be faster compared to
Massive.
the previous years.
Much faster than anywhere else in the world.
Right, got it. But isn't there a problem? Like I've heard this in the VC industry, that there are VCs who have funds, who have investors. The funds are just lying idle and they're not knowing how to invest, where to invest. They're not getting the right deal. Isn't that a problem also?
It is a problem because sometimes people have raised too much money and don't have places to deploy. The other times they've raised the money but they don't have the access to deals as well. So you have to solve for all of those things. It's not just about raising the money and sitting on the money. It's about getting the deals, getting the founders, closing the deals. All of those things are important. And then, by the way, don't celebrate when you get money. Celebrate when you scale that money into more and exit. Like when founders celebrate funding, I'm like, okay, celebrate on LinkedIn, but don't have a party for it.
True.
Because you are on the treadmill walking at 6, now you're running at 9 or 12 or 15. You have to keep up with that pace now.
I have seen many founders make this mistake, and this is something I've seen as a content creator. So when the post-COVID, there was this too much money flowing into the business, and then few companies that came in to make a deal. मैंने literally देखा है ये लोगों ने पैसे लेके they've just gone on long vacations. The entire trip, the entire team is working from outside, on site, and stuff like that.
Absolutely, completely unacceptable. Investors' money should be valued even more than your money.
Your money.
In good times, nobody will ask questions. In the tough time, people will come and say, why you did this, pay the company back for this, pay the company back for that. But it's just unacceptable. That money is not to buy a car, it's not to have a holiday, it's not to buy a house, it's not to spend 1 crore capex on improving the look and feel of your office. No, it's to build a business.
I can give you so many examples.
We had 150 people in Dr. Vaidya's. Our office was the simplest office in the world because I said, I'll focus on the business, yeah.
Your own money?
Ads. Our own office at Dr.
No,
Vaidya.
I'm saying, was that from your own money or VC raised?
No, initially it was our own money, then eventually we raised money.
But still you maintained it.
Up the office. No way. No way.
This is again a slightly different question asked by another follower, Rajarshi Saha. How much role does instinct play when deciding upon investing opportunities?
Yeah, at the early stage there is instinct. Because you cannot, if a business is doing 1-2 CR a year, how can you model out what happens when they do 100 CR a year or 200 CR a year?
Okay.
And so that instinct on the space, on that person solving for that space, and the instinct to see where this will go is important. Instinct, I feel, is less and less as you go higher and higher in your size of company investing. Right? So there's more Excel in a investor who's putting $10 million, even more Excel for investors putting $20, $30 million. So as the stage goes forward, there's less instinct. But in the early stage, there's a lot of instinct.
You have to see if your vibe is matching or not.
Not even vibe matching. You have to be able to take that leap of faith to say, ye ho jayega.
Correct.
Ban jayega. Because the Excel sheet cannot tell you anymore. If the company is 5 months old, what will the Excel sheet tell you?
Right.
Nothing.
So, one last question before we end this round. Share that one secret about the VC world that founders should know but do not know.
I think
it could be your secret also.
I think, look, the most important thing to understand is that once a person invests in your business, they are sitting on the same side of the table as you. So, let's say you own a company, you started the company, I invest, I take 10% of your company. You still have 90% of the company.
Yeah.
My 10% will only become, my 10 rupees will only become 100 rupees if you who owns 90% of the company will make it happen for me.
Right.
So, an investor-founder relationship, if both parties understand they're on the same side of the table and they both want the success of the company, it will not be a relationship at loggerheads. And working together is the answer, not working against each other.
Right. Thank you so much. Now we'll move on to the round 2, which is rapid fire round.
Okay.
So first we're going to go easy on you.
Okay.
For rules, I'll just tell you the rules. You can't think. You have to just reply like this, whatever first thing comes in your mind.
Okay.
Okay? First question. First thing you do in the morning?
Check my phone.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
None.
None? Okay. Most played song on your playlist? You can't think. That's the rule. Just accept it.
I'm going to go like...
One, quick, the first one. It can be a romantic song too. Violating the rules.
Aisha.
That's your daughter's name. This is a very safe answer. Okay, since you are a fan of sneakers, tell me one Indian sneaker brand that you'd like to be a part of.
Zayden.
Okay, I'm gonna Google that. This one's dedicated to your wife. You just have to choose one of the options. Trisha as a life partner or Trisha as a business partner? Fast.
Business partner. No,
You just said that on camera.
Yeah. Like, life partner I have already. Business partner I don't have right now.
You just said it.
But actually, I would say that...
No explanation, Arjun. You can't explain on this one. It's done and dusted.
Okay, let's hope she doesn't see that.
No, I'm going to send it to her separately. Okay, choose your favorite shark and explain why in one sentence.
Aman Gupta.
What if he's not there in the option?
Okay, then give me the options.
No, he's there. Tell me why.
Aman Gupta, because one, he's a friend, but I think he's as he is. He's not putting up anything because he's on Shark Tank. Like, I know him outside the tank because he's exactly like that.
You're saying others are fake?
No, I'm just saying Aman is exactly like he is.
Okay, your favorite investment out of your current portfolio? Cuckoo FM, Cure, Go Zero, Dil Foods. Others are watching. Let me just tell you.
It's my first ever investment. I love all of them, but Cuckoo FM my first ever.
This is a very safe answer. You can't give that reason. Okay, complete this line. You should not seek VC funds because.
You want an article on Economic Times or your story.
Nice one. Biggest green flag during a startup pitch?
Passion.
Biggest red flag during a startup pitch?
No passion.
Okay, if you could invest in only one type of industry for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Consumer brands.
Okay, done. So this round's over. We're moving on to the next, and this one's gonna blow your mind. So next round is truth or shorts.
I take out the chits or you take out the chits?
Obviously you take out the chits, and if you do not answer what's there in the chits, you have a shot. Okay? You only have to choose any 3 out of 5. And let me tell you, you cannot decide not to answer. No, wait. ऐसा कुछ rule नहीं है. हाँ, ठीक है. Let's start.
I'm going with red first. My
Okay.
favorite color.
That's the color of danger.
Your most regrettable startup investment?
You have to take the name, else you drink the shot.
Yeah, I'll actually share.
You have to take the startup's name.
I wouldn't say it's regrettable, but my first investment ever in the angel space was a company called Bellora.
Okay.
It's an outstanding company, but it's shutting down right now. And it's shutting down, I think, because the founder took too high a valuation too early and had too much pressure. I love the company. On the books, it was up 15x, and so we thought we'd make a lot of money, and eventually went to zero. But it's important learning, right?
Right.
Take what you need at the right time.
Okay.
But yeah, my first angel investment has gone to zero.
Okay, noted. Next question.
Okay, let's go blue. Fourth picture in your phone gallery.
Yeah, now let me tell you, whatever is the fourth picture, you have to show it to me and the audience both. You can't be like, okay, now I don't want to show it, so I drink the juice. उधर होगा. दो मेरे हैं.
iPhone दिखा दो.
क्यों? You can't choose between the phones.
That Android has no photos.
Okay, makes sense.
Android has no photos.
Fourth photo in your gallery. You're gonna send it to me. We're gonna display it. I'm assuming it's your daughter.
Oh, it's so boring.
Okay.
Canada's Lululemon sees Indian market fit to grow its business.
This is really not expected.
Super boring. Super boring.
I actually expected कि चलो daughter होगी, cute picture आएगा. This question can be flopped. This is literally boring.
It's a boring photo. Sorry.
ठीक है. Arjun is a workaholic, hence established. Don't expect any front from this person.
Okay, last one.
No, if you do not drink the shot, I'll make you answer two more.
One thing you don't like about your wife, right now?
One, you have already answered a question which is going to put you in trouble.
Right, yesterday we had an argument.
About what?
She wakes up at 6:30 because Aisha wakes up at 6:30. I wake up at like 7:38. So it's lights out at 10 o'clock. I came home from a work dinner yesterday at 10 o'clock and the lights are out. I'm like, 10 o'clock is too early for lights out, at least 11 o'clock.
No, you really have to understand she goes through a lot.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm going to have a shot for that.
It's very bad.
I've had worse.
Oh, how could you do that shit? So, next up, you have to tell us 2 truths and 1 lie about yourself, and we let the audience guess what is what.
Okay, so I've never smoked a shisha in my life.
Okay.
I've never ordered a cup of coffee in my life.
Okay.
And I've watched more than 100 IPL games live.
More than 100 IPL games live? Okay. And you've never ordered a coffee? If that is true, I'm just going to assume you to be very snobbish. But now you have to tell me what's what. We let the audience guess. So, ab sach bata do. Okay. Chalo, I think it was wonderful having you on the show.
Pleasure.
Can we please get the hamper for him? I had so much difficulty for getting a hamper for you because I realized you are gluten-free and sugar-free. And I'm like, usually I give out cookies and cakes and stuff like that. Thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure having you.